Say good morning, Lucky. Say good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. It's Teri Hunter. Having a little reflection on my glasses here. Let's see what I could do about that. Can you all hear me? Can you hear me? This is Lucky. This is my love. And he's coming to say good morning and Happy New Year. And then we're going to say bye-bye. Okay, I forgot to plug in. Can you hear me, you guys? Forgot to plug in my microphone. Good morning. Good morning, Explodey. Long name. Good morning, the Ben Project. Good morning, Annabelle. Welcome, welcome. Okay. You guys seemed new, so to let you know, my name is Teri Hunter. I'm here on Lotta's channel every Sunday morning with messages from your angels. I'm not technically an astrologer. What I do is I give angelic advice for traversing the transits. So what we're going to talk about today is there are 5 planets in Capricorn. But before we start, because everybody looks pretty new here, I'm not sure if you guys have been here before. So I wanted, we play a little game here on my show every Sunday. You get an opportunity to pick a number between 2 and 500 and to win a free half-hour reading with me. So here, last week we had the number 305 and the number 190. Sorry about the lint. Can you guys see that? Unfortunately, these were not numbers that were winners. So I'm going to have to swap up this game a little bit so that we have more success. On Christmas Day, we did a live show. And before the show, I designated a number. The person who was at a certain number in the chat, the live chat, won. So I may shift things around a little bit because I like to be successful. Good morning, Small Wildflowers. Good morning, Cosmo Kid. Good morning, Hassan. Good morning, Anik. Good morning, Teresa. Good morning, Karen. Mehek. Janelle. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Queen of Snakes. Maria. Tanya. King. Henry. Henny. Okay, I think I got everybody now. All right. So we had no winners, but these numbers are now out of play. 305 and 190. The light is not helping me. Okay. And then it's funny. I was thinking about a totem for this week, and your guys are going to laugh at me, but Spirit was nudging me to use the banana. Now, it was funny because when I went and looked up what banana can represent, it talked about banana has a very, it has that hard peel that it has. And what I was getting in my meditation was that it was time to really peel back everything that doesn't serve us and to be vulnerable to the bigger dynamic of the fruit within, which is the actual banana. So I know it sounds kind of funny the way I come up with these totems for Spirit to talk to you, but there are so many tools that they have that we don't pay attention to. Exactly, Cosmo Kid. A banana may seem funny, and most of the time we refer to the banana as something completely different. But when you start thinking about it, when you're walking through the market and you're going by that big, display of bananas, think about what it is that are you covering up a deeper truth of yourself? What can you take into this new decade and claim for yourself that you want more? I really feel like that was a really powerful totem in many ways. Okay, and Stephen, who's the top banana? Whoever is the top banana in your life should be you. That's what I have to say. Okay, so we're going to go on to our readings, but before we do, I wanted to mention Mercury moved into Capricorn today. That makes 5 planets in Capricorn. We have our favorites, Pluto and Saturn, been running around in Capricorn for a while, and now we have Jupiter, and we have oh my goodness, the sun, obviously, and now Mercury. So that's technically a stellium in Capricorn. My first response was, oh no, does this mean everything's going to go and be restricted? And then I remembered what I said about Saturn last week, that, part of Saturn's reward is to know when you've done the hard work. And the hard work is not necessarily getting out and pounding the pavement. The hard work is believing that if we have a desire, we have the ability to manifest that desire. We are natural creators. So when we take the elements of Saturn and we think about Saturn rules structure, it rules buildings, it rules going by the book. So what if the book is the law of attraction? What if the book is the law of allowing? What if the book is not the human book that says you must do this because if you don't do this, you will be punished? There is no punisher out there. So when we take the elements of Saturn and Mercury, and I'm just talking about this, when I do this, it's intuitively through the angelic realm. So for me, when I think about Mercury going into Capricorn, it reminds me to be mindful of how I'm talking to myself. What permissions am I giving me to allow my dreams to come true? Because the Saturn Pluto conjunction is really has been kicking up a lot of our fears, a lot of our trepidations, a lot of our doubt. And what if that doubt is being transformed? What if it is the very reward of Saturn is the reversal or the conquering of doubt? And it's not to avoid doubt, it's to be able to walk in doubt until Spirit is able to manifest for us. Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, Christina. I said good morning, Stephen. Did I miss anybody? Rain, good morning. Okay, so let's go on to our readings. This is going to be our last one for this year, and not only this year but this decade. So I really want to encourage everybody to take this time. I think Lotta's new video mentions how powerful the time is when a new year starts between two eclipses, that things that we have contracted for. I believe, guys, especially for those of you that are new on my show, that the natal chart is the syllabus or the contract that I've made with my own soul and all that is for what I want to experience here on the planet. And while we don't always accomplish everything. When we go to college and we set a schedule for a semester, we don't always finish all those classes. Sometimes we decide to drop them and then move on to do that at a later time. So when we start to look at the idea of these rewards being things that we have contracted for, the revelations and the insights that were offered to us through this challenging years, 2018 and 19, were the impetus, the catalyst to grab on to the things that we want. And I want to say this too, because Spirit has shown me many, many times that this is what the ascension is. You hear people talk about the ascension in spiritual circles, and the ascension is not going back to spirit. The ascension is making this earth plane the nirvana that it was meant to be. And the nirvana is not the absence of challenges. It's not the absence of fear. It is the working in coordination with our deepest desires so that those fears, those challenges, those obstacles actually empower us to move beyond what we can see with our eyes. Okay, so that's where I'm going with that. So I'm not sure how to say, I'm going to say Nijihia. You've got your natal Jupiter, Neptune, Moon are in Capricorn. Wow, so lots of stuff is going on for you right now. Okay, so when one's in financial crisis, I want to say it this way. I too have been experiencing my own challenges in my flow, and I don't know if I think it's really the outside world as much as it is the influence of I guess I want to put it this way. When we start to embark on a dream and we're so excited and inspired, we have all this energy, and then we start to actually manifest certain things, and the excitement becomes different. It becomes more normal. So there is then that is usually the impetus or the transition when we're going to a new dream or a new elevated aspect, the 2.0 version of that dream. So for me, this last, year or so has not only been tumultuous in my houses where that transit is happening, it's also been an opportunity for me to start to stretch again. And whenever I start to stretch myself again, I go through a period of doubt, a period of indecision, a period of feeling things aren't moving as quickly as my Aries rising would like them to be. So I want to offer all of you this opportunity as we move through this eclipse time, through this new year, to really put in a declaration. And I want to say it this way: when I say a declaration, I don't mean it like, oh, I hope I can, get a new job. It's I want a great job. It's really about capturing a bigger picture of what you want. So seems there's a lot of you in the chat today that have a number of planets in Capricorn. So this is really an opportunity for you to see how those planets, every planet has two sides. It has the challenging side and it has the opportunity side. While Saturn will restrict, it will also reward. While Jupiter will expand you, it can also make you fat. So when we take the elements of these planets that you have your stelliums in, and then focus on the higher vibration of that, then you can start to call upon God and the angels to implement that and give you signs and omens within this physical experience that you are aligned to your deeper truth, which is what the banana totem is all about. So often people will grab a banana in the morning for breakfast. It's easy, it's quick, and you rip that peel off without thinking about it. Next time you peel a banana, I really want you to think about when it takes a little bit to get that edge open, and then peeling back that thick peel. That's what our outer selves are. So, okay, so now we're going to go into our readings. For those of you that are new to my show, I go backwards. I start with Pisces and I work my way towards Aries. Graziella, is it going to be a good thing or a bad thing if your Mars and Saturn are both in Capricorn? It really is neither a good thing or a bad thing. Mars and Saturn have opposite energies in many ways, but it's going to depend upon the aspects that are happening, because Saturn can somehow tame Mars a little bit, and Mars can boost Saturn up a little bit. It doesn't always have to be a fight. And sometimes when there is a fight or there is a opposition, that tension is where the illumination and the next logical step comes in. Okay. All right. Let's see. I think that's Tanya with a J. I do think fun times are coming ahead. And I do think that we're coming to the culmination of our contracts of illusion, where we are giving up our deepest truth. When I say deepest truth, that's my desire, it's my want, it's who I am. So when I do that and I dumb that down so that I fit into a mold of things that aren't authentic to me, that's what this last 2 years is. It's why we saw jobs blow up, we saw relationships blow up, we saw people whose behaviors were not right, and yet they were purporting themselves as pillars of our community. So, and now we're at the end of that. So once the disruption has happened, then the air can clear things out, we can plant new seeds, and we can grow much more efficiently and more colorfully and beautifully. I saw a huge hydrangea in my mind when I said that. All right, let's get on to our readings. Here we go, starting with Pisces, rising sun, moon, and stelliums. And so all of you guys that were talking about having a multitude of planets in Capricorn, pay attention to that, even if your sun isn't there, your ascendant isn't there, or your moon isn't there. Because I believe, and have been shown, that when you have a significant number of planets in a house or in a sign, it has a significant meaning, and that has a significant influence. So let's pay attention to that. Okay, here we go. Gratitude for you. 5 planets in Aquarius is definitely something to pay attention to. Absolutely. Okay. Jupiter in Capricorn isn't bad. None of it is bad. It's just not probably. Jupiter may not get to be as expansive in Capricorn. So it's kind of like, or I want to put it this way. Jupiter also represents our beliefs. It represents foreign things, foreign places, foreign travel. Those are all the human movements. But when I go into the emotional spiritual body, Jupiter and Sagittarius represents the connection to the angelic realm. Every single one of us has a team of angels and guides that are watching over us and supporting us as we walk through this life. They're not here to intervene. They're here to complement and support. So if we don't engage them, then we're going to have trouble. We're going to be kind of, because they'll sit there and they'll watch us. And unless something is crazy happens, like you have been in mortal danger and you're not supposed to be, they're not allowed to intervene. So it is really important for you guys to spend time talking to them and giving them permission to guide you beyond your own sight here in the physical plane. Okay, let's get to these readings finally. Trying to keep track of these timestamps, which can't be easy. First angel for Pisces is Adriana. The second is Desiree. The third is Archangel Raphael. And the final is Archangel Gabriel. Okay. Bye, Basil. Five planets in your first house is very significant. The first house is how we feel about ourselves. It's who we are. Okay, joining Adriana is the mystery card. Joining Desiree is the cow. Joining Archangel Raphael is the deer. And joining Archangel Gabriel is the raven. All right, for Pisces, here we go. Adriana says, I'm leading you towards the answers to your prayers, to your dreams, through your desires, and through those thoughts and intuitions. And then we have the mystery card. I want to say this for my Pisces. What I believe this is saying is that you are being tasked in some ways this week to continue to remember that you're being led, you're not leading. Okay, this is again where I go back to Saturn. The hard work is not the doing, it's the believing. It's my attitude, my disposition, my energetic, emotional body as I endeavor something. Because I feel like Pisces may be having just a bit of trouble because you're in the midst of a transition. So here's Desiree saying that conditions are not necessarily favorable. And then the cow. If the cow is about abundance, it's about nourishment, it's about asking and receiving. That's where I was talking to you earlier about your guides. Because what it feels like here is that Pisces is being made to make a choice every single time to remember that Spirit is leading them towards what they want to experience, whether it be a professional experience, an emotional experience, a spiritual experience, whatever the dynamic is. Because conditions are not necessarily favorable right now, because I believe Pisces needs to ask to receive. And Pisces is ruled by Jupiter in the ancient times. And in Jupiter is, again, that connection to the ninth house in the angelic realm and foreign ideas and beliefs, because there is a healing to be had as you do that. That's what Archangel Raphael offers. And there is an opportunity to be gentle and diplomatic with yourself as you realize that the baton is in Spirit's hands right now. Your physical movement, especially most times, this week between Christmas and New Year's is quiet. Most businesses are kind of winding down a little bit. So this is like, if you're anxious, Pisces, to move forward, to take, let's get some evidence that this is happening. It's not. It's still part of this, what's coming up in this new year. And here in the final position, we have Archangel Gabriel and we have the Raven. The Raven is about magic, coincidence, and synchronistic events. Synchronistic events are events that are out of your control. And Archangel Gabriel is asking you to turn over whatever insecurities you have while you make the choice to be brave as you are being led in this moment. So Pisces, this is more of an interior job during this week. And I want to say this too. It's funny, but I want to go back to the banana, and I want to say to Pisces, is there somewhere where you need to peel back a little bit and see what your deeper truth is? Or are you still kind of judging things or assessing things from what you think you can get versus what you are manifesting at a level you don't even know about? Okay, Stephen, your birthday adds up to a 22. That's a master number. It's also a little scary degree in astrology. I don't think it's at strange, Stephen, that your rising is at 22 degrees Sagittarius, because the Sagittarius 22 is a kind of interesting degree. But in order for us to really thrive, There has to be a death before there can be a birth. The 22nd degree of any sign can represent death in some ways. If we think about Sagittarius, maybe that's the death of old antiquated beliefs so that we can rise to a new level. And Stephen, because you're here every week almost, we know that you're passionate about astrology and passionate about teaching things like that. So maybe this is about your belief that you can do things from a different place. Okay. Good morning, Susie. Nice to see you again. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Penelope. The Ben Mar. Oh, I said hi to Ben, I think, already. Nakia, I hope you did not miss Aquarius. I'm going on to Aquarius right now. Okay. And I hope you guys are getting used to me because, we do this live show so that we can be interactive. It's not just for the readings. It's so we can chat. We can talk about different dynamics, different theories and things. According to Nikola Stanovich, I think I'm saying his name correctly, the 22 degree, especially Capricorn at 22 degrees, is a significant degree. I don't necessarily believe in death. I know there's the death of the physical body, but it's also a birth on the other side and a continuation. So I like to put a little bit of fuzz on some of this stuff so that we don't get scared and see everything at 22 degrees means something bad is going to happen. Hi, Tebow. I'm sorry I didn't say hello to you. I didn't see you. And Mons Hill, Brianna, good morning. Okay, I think I got everybody. All right, let's go on to our Aquariuses. Oh, I didn't say Sinvi Kivi. Nice to see you here. So many new people in the chat today. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Okay, on to Aquarius. And for those of you that are new that are listening, I go backwards. I start at Pisces and I go towards Aries just to shake it up a little bit. So you didn't miss Aries. Here we go. Aquarius, our first angel is Rochelle. The second is Serena. Ooh. The third is Chantal. Oh my goodness, Aquarius, this is exciting. And the final is Merlina. Okay. Good morning, Red Butterfly. Good morning, Conchita. Good morning, Genesis. Good to see everybody, or good day wherever you are in the world. Okay, joining Rochelle is the dog. Oh, that's fun. Joining Serena is the cow. Oh my goodness, Aquarius, this is amazing. Joining Chantal is the protection card, and joining Merlina is the king. Wow. Well, welcome. Good evening, Ben. Okay, Chantal. I hate to say it, guys, because I hate to play favorites, but when I see Chantal, I see she's asking me to follow the guidance of my heart, to unabashedly trust, not my eyes, but my heart. And then here is the dog, all about unconditional love, loyalty, and sincerity. So I want to say this for my Aquariuses. This is a week to focus in on your heart's desire with unabashedly. We don't want to dumb down. Remember the banana. Peel back that thick core of what doesn't serve you. Naika Thornton, we only have English. I don't know what you wrote in the comment, but we're going to remove it. I don't want to remove you, but I don't know what that means. Anupu, Hithru. I don't even know what that is. So we prefer English so we can all see it. So I'm just going to remove the comment. Okay. All right. So now for Aquarius, in our opportunity or our obstacle is Serena, the angel of money, and the abundance card in the form of the cow. Serena is completely relaxed in her reception. This is the law of allowing at its best. So I want to offer this. If you are looking to feel love in any way, love of self, love of resources that will provide you the security that you need to move forward, I believe they're on their way. And I'm going to say it this way because, I'm going to go to the last position, and then I'm going to go to the third position because the king is here. And the king represents law. It represents karma. It represents justice. It obviously represents male energy as well. But I believe that Aquarius may be confused because you're following your heart right now and you're being loyal to the idea of what you want for yourself. And I believe that while Merlina says, yes, you're a little confused and indecisive, it is about to be revealed. And I'm a little choppy. So Rochelle is in the first position. Follow your heart. Be loyal to yourself. The love that you want is coming. And Merlina is saying it's a timing issue. Again, we are working through this eclipse. There are things that are coming that are fated, that there's nothing that you can actually do about it, but be in reception of it. And that is where Serena and the cow come in, because the cow is about asking and receiving nourishment and abundance. So is Serena. And in the angel's advice is Chantal, the romance angel, and the protection card. The romance angel talks about not only the potential of a new love coming in, but the resurgence of love that you're already in, whether it be relationship or individual. Okay, individual sounds weird. For Aquarius, I'm being a little choppy, I apologize. I think this is about self-love. I think this is about following the guidance of your heart and being loyal and sincere with yourself, even in moments of indecision and confusion, because the higher part of you already knows that it's meant to be. And that's why it's time to start to implement the laws of allowing, and to know that as you love yourself enough to allow yourself that scary moment. The laws of allowing are not always easy, because you put a directive out there and then you're trusting it to come back to you. And there's other hues involved in the law of allowing, other people being allowed to do what they want to do as such. Oops. So I think this is really good for Aquarius. And I want to say this too, because if indeed Aquarius is looking for a relationship and wanting to be kind of going through those markers of life, don't dumb it down. I mean, you don't have to tell your friends about it. When you tell your friends about the things you want, they will always ask you how you're going to figure it out, how you're going to get there. You're not always going to know. So when you start to truly implement and work with your guides and your angels and tell them what is on your heart, then they will start to put signs and omens, but you've got to be able to see them. You've got to be able to be receptive enough to see them. Okay. Good morning. I don't know how to say that. Azy Liddell from Norway. Good morning. Welcome. Good morning, Karen Paisley. Stephen, it may have been a blessing that the host of a Christmas dinner got sick, because I may have not had fun. Oh, yes. Well, that was Christmas dinner was right before an eclipse. So if spirit was watching over you that the host got sick, it could be because it might have been a little bit of a tumultuous time there. So, all right, let's go on to Capricorn, where our stellium sits. And as I say that, I kind of want to say, guys, you know, when I've looked at what's going on in Capricorn right now, literally K2, Jupiter, and the Sun are all sitting right near each other. I think Jupiter and the Sun are a degree apart in opposition to Rahu. Okay, then we have Pluto and Saturn at those pretty critical degrees of transformation. So what I want to offer is Asi. Thank you for letting me know. I will say that Asi properly next time. For my Capricorns, what I want to say is that this is a time to take these planets, Mercury, Jupiter, the Sun, and our two most transformational planets in Pluto and Saturn, and start to focus in on how they can work for you. Start to say, Mons Hill. I got to tell you, I've felt it's a little rough too. My mud went from my ankles to my knees at some point, but I also realized it's a time of surrender to this. And what is the illumination that can come? For me, to be honest, it was about taking better care of myself. I eat well, but I don't eat enough. And so I've really been starting to say, is this, I got a little sick over the holiday, and is this something that's going to tank me, or is this something that is illuminating me to a bigger version? Because without my health, my future will not be enjoyable. So sure, if you've had migraines, you may want to look into alternative ways of dealing with migraines. I don't want to make any recommendations here on the channel, but the medical medium does have some interesting information about that. Okay, so let's go and start our Capricorn readings. Right? Right. Oh, lose my train of thought. I kind of think Neptune and Capricorn would be kind of, in some respects, while it could dumb down some of Neptune, it can also take some of that illusion away and make you a little bit more clear-sighted and trust your instincts a little bit more. Okay, so for Capricorn, I'm on Capricorn. Yeah, okay. I just scared myself. Merlina is our first angel. The second is Francesca. The third is Oceana. And the final is Bethany. Well, isn't that interesting? I was just talking about self-care. Good morning, Vanessa. Welcome. I said good morning. Susie, that's it. A lot of food allergies cause histamine reactives and can be related to migraines and other things. I don't really want to talk about, what remedies, because, I'm not a doctor, but I will say this. I have noticed in the last year, dairy's just been my enemy in so many ways. And I just love sour cream and butter and all that kind of stuff. So I've really made a concentrated effort to say, you know what, I'm just going to do a little bit of an experiment so that I can determine what it is. And my taking care of my body has become a very important thing because it is the vessel for all the dreams that I have spent 60 years trying to get to happen. So just might want to pay attention to that a little bit. Okay. None of us are doctors here, but we're all educated in many ways. All right. Merlina is being joined for our Capricorns with the love card. Francesca is being joined by the hawk. Oceana is being joined by the dog. And Bethany is being joined by the wrist card. Wow. Okay. So here we are. I'm with you, Tanya. I'm cutting out dairy. I started yesterday. I keep telling myself just one day at a time. Okay. Merlina and the love card for Capricorn. Merlina is a card of confusion and indecision, needing to do more research. And here is the love card. I want to say this for my Capricorns. I've been talking for quite some time to Capricorn about being more, that this time has offered you more authenticity in your love bodies and how you receive love and how you give love and how you want love to feel. And I feel like right now I'm going from the first position to the final position, which is Bethany saying, it's about self-care and risking something, risking your desires. And this is in love. I'm so excited in some ways for Capricorn because we have been like little butterflies, in this cocoon and just waiting to transform. And here's Francesca in the angel's advice saying, what do you visualize right now? Focus on that and it will come about. And then here's the hawk. It's about rising to seeing a bigger picture. And in the angel's advice is Oceana saying to take action, to step into your loving truth and to move forward. And there's the dog. I'm getting a feeling for our first three signs that there's a lot going on about not just love outside ourselves, but self-love that brings in the love that we want to experience at a deeper level. We are no longer, most of us are not dealing with having to survive in order to thrive. And so we don't need to marry for a cow or, be traded or do these arranged situations. So this is really what I'm trying to say is that for the first three signs, Pisces, Aquarius, and Capricorn, I feel like really looking into your love bodies. How do you like feeling loved? What is it you want to experience in love? And love, not just intimate love, the whole kit and caboodle, family love, tribal love, communal love, because I feel like this is really an opportunity to say, you know what? I have been doing the hard work that my Saturn wants from me. And that hard work is believing in myself when I'm confused and indecisive and I don't know because there's no evidence. But I feel somewhere down the line, how in the world could I ever allow myself as a soul to come to this planet to only experience crap? No, that's not happening. So here we go. That's Oceana and the dog saying to lovingly assert yourself into the vision of what you want. And then spirit will take care of bringing it to you as you risk what you want. So I want to say this too. I started off this broadcast saying that we need to engage our guides and our angels, have a conversation with them. They don't care if you're pissed off. It's not like you're talking to a priest. You're talking to somebody who understands that emotion is the human element. And when we emotions aren't just good emotions. Sometimes they're challenging emotions. So every once in a while, I got a little pissed off. And I've said to my guides, hey, I'm done. I'm done with this nonsense. I need you to move it along now. Chop, chop. And things happen fast. Stephen, I saw that you had written 2020 as a 4-year. I thought about that as well, because 4 is the foundation. It's about building. It's about buildings. And what does Saturn represent? Buildings and structure. So all the things that we have been breaking away from that didn't serve our highest and greatest good, all the risks that we have been taking for this last 2 years, stepping into the more authentic versions of ourselves as we peel back and we see the truth. Guys, this may sound sad, but sometimes DNA is not something that connects us in a way. Sometimes DNA is a big life lesson that we signed up for. I know for me it is. And, at this time of year, not being connected to those that I come from is hard. But I also know that it's harder for me to be connected to people I'm not authentic with. So that's why I say it's a risk for Capricorn, because you're used to doing things by the rules. You're used to doing things by the human structure. Now I think it's time to transform that to the angelic structure. Okay, let's go on to our Sagittariuses. I don't know what my personal number is going to be yet for next year. I haven't seen that. I haven't looked that up yet. I want to say this. If you change your name, the number, the Aborigines in Australia believe that they change their names as they evolve in life so that their name reflects who and what they have become. So if you get pulled to change your name, it may be nice to look at it numerologically, but then you've got to decide if in that numerology it resonates where you think you're evolving to, Susie. Okay. All right, here we go on to our Sagittariuses. Ooh. Oh, 8's a great number. 8's a very, very powerful manifesting number, but nothing manifests outside of ourselves, guys. So, when I was younger, I bought crystals and candles and I did all these things, but my belief wasn't there. My belief was smack dab in the mud. So I wasn't manifesting. And when I threw tarot cards, they were always nasty. So once you start to think of it as the numbers, the candles, the crystals support my belief. What is my belief when I endeavor to use these tools? Welcome, Thumbelina. How does one calculate the number for this year? You take your birth date. My birth date is 10/17, and then it would be 2020, and that would be my, and then you reduce it down, and that's the number for the year. But you can do a number for the day. You can break it down really a lot. So again, I want to say, looking at what your belief about the dynamic is before moving forward, before you buy that candle for love, are you buying it because you're hoping that it's going to bring you love, or are you buying it because you know love is coming and this is a celebration? So that's what you want to, the basis of what you want to be in. Okay. All right, here we go. Sagittarius, moon, sun, ascendant, and stelliums. Not in that order. Ascendant, moon, stelliums, and sun is kind of how I like to think of it. Okay. All right, our first angel for Sagittarius is Francesca. The second is Shanti. The third is Archangel Daniel, and the final is Aurora. I almost gave Daniel an upgrade. The day you were born, the month, the day, and the year that we're going into. Okay, joining Francesca is the movement card. Joining Shanti is the bee. Joining Daniel is the fire fairy. And joining Aurora is the risk card. Okay. So for Sagittarius, Here's Francesca saying, what do you visualize? What do you want right now? Because if you visualize that, oftentimes, guys, when we visualize what we want, it's a trigger to what we don't have. So I'm going to use my Sagittarius rising, I believe, is Stephen, right? Your Pisces with Sagittarius rising, yes? I want to offer it this way, because when we're visualizing and we start to look at, oh no, I don't have this. This is what I want. The movement card is where we really have to be in alignment to. That wherever we are sitting, let's say we want a new job, because I'm going to kind of go with partnerships here, because in the Angel's Advice, we have Daniel. So if you're wanting a partnership and you're wanting a community, more friends, more frivolity and fun in your life, part of your job when you start to visualize it is you can recognize that you don't have that in your life. But then the best that you can do to get to a place where you can visualize how it feels when you're sitting in that position. Because in the opportunity obstacle is Shanti, the angel of peace, and the bee card. The bee is about victory. It's about good luck, but it's also my being energy. And so when I look into my being energy, that is where my peace lies. Brianna, if your boss is a Sag, he may not be Sagittarius. He may be horrible because he's got a bad rising sign or some bad aspects. There's so much more to it than just, the sun, moon, and ascendant. Because for Sagittarius, Daniel is the angel of partnerships and marriage. And then there's the fire fairy. But what Daniel's main thing that he asks of us when his energy comes up is to look at what our story is in relation. And most of us have a challenging story in partnerships. It's kind of the human experience. So here we couple that with Shanti and the bee. It's almost as if Shanti and Daniel are saying, give life to the idea that more peace in your partnerships is coming. And it's your job to be optimistic and creative as you find ways to connect with your being energy. Because when you do that, Aurora says you're flying high right now, which may threaten others, but don't descend because they will soon be inspired by your example. And here's the risk card. The risk is, for my Sagittarius, I broke the box of thought. I broke the box of what I was thinking. I was doing a reading for someone the other day, and they have big dreams. And every time they talk to their inner circle about the big dreams, there's the people going, well, how are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? How are you going to do it? And all that does is instill fear, because the how is not up to you. The how will be, you'll be led to it. Spirit will start to give you signs and omens, or a phone call out of nowhere, or somebody that you haven't talked to on Facebook in 10 years will suddenly reach out to you, and then there'll be a job attached to it. I see it happen all the time. So for my Sagittarius, this is about connecting with the angelic realm. This is about your natural being and natural connection, and then telling them, this is what I want to experience. And while I appreciate this experience I'm having now is giving me the knowing of what I want, I'm going to risk a bigger idea. And I'm going to start to really risk thinking, I don't have to do all the heavy work. All I have to do is stand energetically in alignment. And sometimes that's really hard work. And I want to say this too. If you can't find that place of being where you can get excited about where you want to be, don't try too hard, because then you're starting to put in more and more resistance. The surrendering of your fears. I found myself last night talking to Spirit and saying to them, there are days I just don't know if I'm full of crap. And, there was no big light that came shining down from the heavens to assure me. But I woke up this morning with a beautiful email from a client who was so grateful. So there's ways of us having to, sometimes we'll look at things flat. We'll just see what's happening in that moment. And I feel like in connecting to Spirit, it'll always give us an oversight of things that will appease us in the moment when we're feeling stuck. Okay. Susie, go get something to eat if you're hungry. Okay, let's go on to our Scorpios. Nourish your body. Resistance is actually just fear run amok. Resistance is the lack of trust. So sometimes when we're in resistance, we can say, well, How much do I really believe this? This is what I ask myself, because when I go into my doubt, and I have it, my belief is much stronger than my physical results sometimes. And yet, what I have found is in the 11th hour, every time Spirit somehow saves the day. And I don't know if I'm just the kind of person that has to get to the edge before she pulls it back and grabs on, but I don't want to do that anymore. So I've been telling Spirit, help me to have more flow within my own energy so that I can then manifest the same flow. If you guys look at the people around you, like the people who are super, super successful, especially monetarily, sometimes these people will not always be the most emotionally warm and fuzzy people. But I will say this, if you pay attention to the people who seem to manifest money easily, they don't worry about manifesting money. They just do. They just say to themselves, money comes to me, and it does. That is a very powerful, powerful message to the universe. Okay, we are going on to our Scorpios now. We're on to Scorpio. Welcome, everybody. So many new people in the chat today. So nice to see you. How do you know if it's fear or intuition warning you? When we're feeling fear is intuition and fear. Okay, I want to address this. This is kind of important. When we're in fear, you'll find yourself running the stories of everything that doesn't work. You'll find yourself even more and more scared because it'll start to be like a magnet. One fear will create another magnet, and then it will create people that will support that fear. So out of nowhere, you'll be sitting in a restaurant and you'll hear the lady at the table next to you talking about the very thing you're afraid of, and she's afraid of it. So when you are in that place, Spirit, is this my fear talking to me or my intuition warning me of something? You ask them, and then they will give you signs and omens. And it could be a banana, it could be a bird, it could be a commercial you hear on the radio. There is so many ways that we just don't pay attention to the signs and omens that we're getting. My Mercury is in Scorpio, adjacent Neptune in the 8th house. That's who I am. All right, let's get on to our Scorpios. And I have Jupiter in the 9th house. I have Saturn in the 10th house. I have a lot of planets in their natural signs. Okay. We are starting our Scorpios with Indriel, the light worker. The next angel is Bethany. The next is Fiona. And the final is Bridget. So we know that Pluto's at 22 degrees Capricorn. We know that Pluto rules Scorpio. So this is an opportunity for great illumination. An opportunity to really look deeper into what our, I don't want to say motives are, but oftentimes we think our motives are one thing and they're something else. A couple of years ago, I created a meditation deck. And I thought, oh, this will be so helpful. But what I really remember saying to myself was, oh, when I'm older, I'm going to need a product of some kind that makes money so that I don't have to be always pushing out my energy. When I started to really examine that statement, it was very fear-based. It had nothing to do with seeing things from an ascension point of view, but more of a descension. So as we might suspect, that meditation deck has not gone very far. So I think that's really what we're talking about here, is looking deeper into our motivations for Scorpio. Okay, Indriel is being joined by the Love card. Bethany is being joined by the Birth and the Rebirth card. Fiona is being joined by the Bee. And Bridget is being joined by the Partnership card. Wow, so far, 4 signs, we're really talking a lot about love. Okay, for my Scorpios, love and the light worker. Indriel will talk about shining your light, shining the light of who and what you are, and love. And I want to say this because I feel like whether you're in a relationship or you're single, it's time for Scorpio to pay attention to how they view love. Because in the opportunity of the obstacle is Bethany, about self-care, and the Birth and the Rebirth card. I would venture to say that there may be many of my Scorpios who are over loving other people and need to love themselves a wee bit more. And when I say that, I mean it in the respect of seeing how your partners are showing back up for you. Are they reciprocal? Are you initiating too much, or are you receiving? Because in the angel's advice is Fiona. Fiona is the angel of receiving all good things that you ask of God. She says, now that you've asked God and the angels for help, be open to receiving their guidance and assistance. You deserve heaven's help. And then here is the B card. This is about good luck. It's about victory. It's about my being energy. And here's Bethany. This is about Scorpio taking care of yourself in relationships, because I tend to think that if you are not in a relationship, that you've been in relationships that were so, I want to use the word challenging on your heart chakra, that you may have just resolved yourself to something else, because Bridget is here and there's the partnership card. Our first and our fourth positions are more in the 3D world. So Scorpio, here it is. You're looking at your love life and you're to shine your love on yourself, meaning am I receiving what it is I'm giving? And am I being able to give what I want that's true to my heart? Or am I being pushed back on by the other party or by my own thoughts? Because here, Bridget is asking me to look deeper into my partnerships, looking deeper into the situation. And when I say that, I feel like this is really about Scorpio being able to love like Pluto, deep under your skin, wanting to crawl inside, know everything about you. Scorpio does not like to love frivolously. It's very much the opposite of Gemini in some ways, because Gemini is like flirtatious and fun and light and easy and nothing really sticks. And with Scorpio, it's totally the opposite. I want to know everything about you. I want you to know everything about me. I want us to be like, and that's a beautiful connection. That's a beautiful thing to experience with someone. But if we don't allow it for ourselves first, so this is where the birth and the rebirth card comes. Scorpio, take care of you. And if for some reason you find yourself in a place of not really feeling like love is on the table, love has been offered, love is in sight anywhere, then it's time to start to go to Spirit and God and watch your being energy. What do you really believe? And then allow for a do-over. Because this next year can bring some really fun things for you, for Scorpio, as you go deeper, because this is in the first position, love, and it's about shining your light. Okay, on we go. To Libra. I have to start talking faster. I can't help it. Teri talks too much in class. And the funniest thing is I have no planets in Gemini. And yet I have so many Gemini degrees in my chart, it's not even funny. Sometimes when you take all these different schools of thought and run them, like kind of cross-purpose them, they make sense. I really don't think one school of thought is the only way. Okay, here we go. Libra. Frosty 21, your Gemini is only one aspect of you. If it's your sun sign, that's one thing. But where Venus is, where your moon is, it's going to say something different about your partnerships. So you guys be mindful of that. When I'm talking about this, I'm focusing in on rising and then the moon, the sun, and stelliums, because these all have varying degrees of influence. Okay, here we go, Libra. First angel is Shanti. The second is Desiree, the third is Celeste, and the final is Francesca. Welcome, Anique 9. Welcome, 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 Elodie. Oh, I said hi to you earlier, I think. Some of you guys, when you have long names, I'm kind of hard reading them. Sira, is that Sira? Is I'm saying that right? You know, I want to put it this way. This conjunction between Margie S., did you say October 17th? That's my birthday too. I want to say everything that we want that is, if we have a desire, if we have made a choice and then we want to redo that choice, it's absolutely okay. And it may have pearls of wisdom that you don't know, and there's a reason. So we'll see. Here we go for Libra. Shanti's being joined by the forgiveness card. Desiree is being joined by the butterfly. Celeste is being joined by the perception card. And Francesca is being joined by the bird. Okay. Shanti is always going to offer us peace. But before that peace can come in, we've got to look at where peace is being interrupted. And I want to say it this way because we've got the reconciliation card in the form of forgiveness. And the final position, I've got Desiree and my history card. So this is how I want to put this. Shanti is offering us peace as we reconcile the history we've been through and actually are able to move into the story where we want to be, when we start to visualize what it is that we seek. Now, when I say visualize what we seek, guys, I don't know if I've talked to you about this before, but I have a metaphoric dinner party. I was in a meditation one time and talking to Spirit about certain things, and I was suddenly taken to a dinner party. I have no idea who the people were at this dinner party. All I know is how it felt. I was in my home, and I live in an apartment now. I was in an expansive home because it had a nice outdoor living space, and there were people that were part of my soul group in this place. So the reason I say that is because this meditation was so palatable to me that it brought me to tears. And I feel like for my Libras, and being a Libra myself, it's time for us to reconcile where we've been. It's okay that the road has been choppy. It's okay if the road has not given us what we wanted completely, because as we learn to reconcile that, we start to bring in something and we transform our history. So in the opportunity of the obstacle is Desiree and the butterfly. Conditions are not necessarily right to bring in that peace of mind just yet because you're still in a gestation period. You're still transforming from the caterpillar into the butterfly. And here is Celeste. Celeste talks about a new home or a new place of employment ushering in new positive energy. But we have this with the perception card. And most of the time when I see Celeste, I think the way I think. And you can put me here, you can put me in Maui, Hawaii, you can put me in the Alps in Switzerland, and I'm still going to think the way I think. So here, as I shift my perception, which is what's going on for Libra, you're learning to shift your perception into a place that is beyond where you've been and where you want to go. So during this next week, because we're right smack dab in the middle of eclipses, and I think the next new moon is going to be the week after that. Because we're just a few days off. I want to say using this new year, not to make resolutions or to, declare goals outside that you think other people would want, like, oh, I should lose weight or I should eat better. I think it's better if you make goals that are more authentic to what you want. If you want to eat better, why do you want to eat better? And if you want to start to exercise, are you doing it to be authentic to yourself? That's the way I want to put it. And through that authenticity, it gives Libra an opportunity to shift a perception that allows for more fulfillment to come through. That's the way I want to put it. Aaron Nice, Libras are fake. You know what? I'm going to say this. Every sign has its challenges and its stingy parts, and every sign has its opportunities. I'm a Libra sun, but I'm an Aries rising and a Taurus moon. That makes me a very different Libra. When I was little and I would read Libra sun horoscope, I'd be, what do you mean indecisive? I'm not indecisive. I know exactly what I want. So I would say for you, it might be interesting to experiment with the Libras that you meet to find out if you could find out their birth information and see if you see some other elements that are common as well, besides just the Libra. Okay, because if it's a Libra and there's, I don't know, you could pick any one of the signs and put them together and you get a different combination. Okay. On to our Virgos. I'm a Taurus moon too, dope chick. Right, Libra sun, Virgo rising, Aquarius moon. I actually have a Libra sun. Well, I just told you. and a Aries rising and a Taurus moon. But I also think that there's some elements there's some subtleties. Like I think that Chiron has some big effect on me, to be honest with you. I have it in Aquarius at 22 degrees, and it's all by itself over there in that hemisphere. There's not much going on in that part of my chart. So anyway, so much to learn, so much fun. Here we go, Virgo, rising sun, moon, and stelliums. Okay, our first angel is Shanti again. Our second is Aurora. Our third is Patience. And the final is Akasha. All right, we're going to get cooking with gas here. Joining Shanti, the angel of peace, is the fire fairy. Joining Aurora is the communications card. Joining Patience is the mystery card. And joining Akasha is the spider card. Okay. Again, Shanti is the angel of peace. And then we have the fire fairy. This is really about creative action and optimism. It's about the impetus of an idea. So I want to offer this to my Virgos. I believe this is about starting to focus in and be optimistic on more peace coming into your life. And I want to say this too, because I don't think this is peace because other people are disrupting your life. I think this may be your inner dialogue going off. Because here in the opportunity and or the obstacle is Aurora saying you're flying high right now, don't descend, because you will soon inspire others. I think this is about breaking the box of thought. I don't know if I think this is actually about you inspiring others right now, Virgo. I think it's about inspiring yourself by paying attention to how you're communicating and allow yourself to break the box of thought. Your ruling planet, Mercury, has gone into Capricorn. Capricorn rules structure. So in order for you to feel more peace, maybe it's about writing a new structure. Writing, not every house is not every structure is a house. There are office buildings, there are, party buildings, there are different types of structures is what I'm trying to say. So as you give yourself permission to think outside the box, maybe there's a different way of me thinking, because we have the choice card in the form of mystery. And then we have the patience card, which says, now is the time to learn, study, and gather information. Enjoy being a student because you will soon synthesize that information. That's in relation to your own peace, Virgo. Your own peace of mind comes as you start to break the box of your own thought. The rules and the regulations of other people no longer need to apply to you unless they're authentic to you. And that's where I think patience comes in. It's not about sitting on an egg and trying to hatch something. It's about observation of what works for you or what doesn't. Because in the final position is Akasha, the teacher, and the spider card. And for me, the spider is always about the fly getting into the web and it doesn't come out. So to me, this is also a relationship card for me. So for me, Virgo is going to become the Akasha, the teacher, is not really about you teaching or schooling other people. It's about how you walk through your world now, how you have shifted. And in shifting, you are bringing more peace, and you'll be more inspired and more optimistic about those, even moving further down the line. As we get further and further into 20 and 2021, we're going to see a lot of us really being able to grab onto our dreams in such a tangible way. Some of us are going to, I think those that are more unconscious may struggle a little bit more, and we'll see maybe a little bit more polarity, and then it's all going to kind of like kick into gear. I don't know how to say that any better. All right, let's go on to our Leos. Okay, I think maybe that that interpretation that Libra is fake could be the indecisiveness of Libra, and if there were some other elements, like if Neptune was in there, there may be there just could be some planets in there that can make people not be able to speak their mind. Okay, welcome Robin, welcome Ritu, welcome India. I think I've said hi to everybody. Paula, did we say hi to you? Okay, yeah, everybody remember to put in your numbers between 2 and 500. The numbers out of play will be recapped. And I want to thank everybody who's been so kind to help both Small Wildflowers and I with the timestamps. We really appreciate that. Okay, here we go, Leo. Teresa is our first angel. Our second is Shanti. Okay, we're seeing some themes here. Archangel Raphael. And the final is Serena. Okay. That's so funny you say that, Mons Hills, because yes, Libras can be emotionally detached. I find that with Libra men. I, being an Aries rising and a Taurus moon, am not emotionally detached whatsoever. I think there's a few people in my family who wish I'd be more emotionally detached. Okay. Happy New Year, Tebow. Happy New Year to everybody. All right. For my Leos, joining Teresa is the Dragon. Joining Shanti is the Risk card. We've seen that a time or two. Joining Archangel Raphael is the Horse, and joining Serena is the Birth and the Rebirth card. Okay, for my Leos, I've had this feeling lately for Leo that there has been, I don't know why, I feel like the Saturn-Pluto conjunction has made Leo want to be more, I guess I want to say it this way, want to be more cooperative, but I don't think they're not being cooperative. I just feel like they're wanting to be more, not stand out as much. And I feel like, no, 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 no. I need my Leos to stand out. That's why you're ruled by the sun. That's why you're the fifth house of pleasure, of romance, of fun. Because in our first position, we have Teresa. Teresa talks about taking care of everybody else but myself and worrying a bit. And then we have the power and strength card. So when I look at this, I feel like Leo has been giving up their power a bit for the group, for the herd. And in the opportunity obstacle is the Shanti and the Risk card. I really have to say, Leo, your peace of mind comes from risking just being who you are. Don't dumb down for anyone. And this is not about being a bulldozer and coming in and, acting like, nobody else matters, but it's not about taking it away from you either, because there is a healing being involved here. And this Horse card for me today is going new directions. It's about the horse carving new paths and allowing yourself to know that that's where the peace comes. There's this feeling, when I think of the 12 houses, the fifth house is the house for me where most of the fun happens. It's romance, it's high school, it's personal pleasures. There's just so much fun about it. For you to dumb that down would be taking such an important element of the human experience away from the rest of us. So for Leo, in our final position is Serena, the angel of money and abundance, and the Birth and the Rebirth card. So for me, I'm not saying this is about money. For me, this is about you standing in your power while still caring for others and leading them, because this is about a new beginning. So while we're ending a decade, we're starting a new decade. I feel like for Leo, this is a time for some sort of weird integration between the wants of others and the wants of yourself. And as you find your path and as you carve a new path for that, you will enjoy much more abundance than you've known before. And it will really be the beginning of a whole new season in your life. Okay. Agreed. I do think the air signs tend to be logical, so they tend to think things through, whereas our water signs are going to be much more in their heart chakra about things. But all those things can be affected by where they sit, the aspects. I mean, if you've got Venus in Capricorn, or you've got Venus in Libra, even though it's natural, I'm not quite sure. If I think about it logically, if Venus was in Libra, it would probably bring a more feminine dynamic, but I don't know if it would make you more confused about things or more indecisive. I don't know. We'll have to consult a real astrologer on that. Stephen, what do you have to say? All right, let's go on to our Cancers while we contemplate that idea. Okay, guys, and for everybody, Goddess Energy 515 is out of play. Got to be under 500 and over 2. Oh, Paula, I'm sorry you lost connection. Hopefully you'll be able to hear. I hope it wasn't one of your signs. All right, let's get on with it. On to our Cancers. Our first angel is Fiona. The second is Astera. The third is Omega. And the final is Xana. I believe this coming eclipse is in Cancer, is it not? Monsil, this starts at 11 a.m. Pacific time. That was about an hour and 10 minutes ago now. And we usually go about an hour and a half. Okay, joining Cancer or joining Fiona for Cancer is the protection card. Joining Astera is the partnership card. Joining Omega is the cow. And joining Xana is the spider. All right. Here we go. So Fiona talks about, now that you've asked God and the angels, be open to receiving their guidance. You deserve heaven's help. And here is the protection card. For my Cancers, I want to say this. You've got an eclipse coming up. We're going to do another show before the eclipse, but I want you to start to tee up for this eclipse and this new year, the intention for what you want, and to know that God and the angels are in charge. Look at Fiona. She's so happy. She doesn't have a care in the world. And you have a protection card. And I'm going to go to the final position because we're actually on to Cancer now. I finished Leo, didn't I? Yeah. Because Cancer, here's the Xana, the card of protection, the angel of protection, and here's the spider. What you are asking and wanting to receive from Spirit, and I want to say that I feel like this is more to do with your personal life, meaning your family, your friends, your partnerships. It's here. And this protection is not about physical protection. It's about aligning to a deeper truth for what you want. So, because here in the opportunity, the obstacle is Astera, saying to reach for the stars with your dreams and desires and not to compromise. And then we have the partnership card. This is about all types of partnerships, work partnerships, friendship partnerships, intimate partnerships, sibling partnerships, because in the angel's advice is victory in the form of Omega, and the cow, which is about asking and receiving and is about abundance. So I want to put it this way. Cancer, you've been wanting something, and I want to say it this way. Maybe you've been wanting to have that career move. Maybe you've been wanting to meet that person and have a relationship. You know, you can create a relationship with someone. I know somebody who's a model, and she has had an agent, but they weren't really a very good agent for her. They didn't seem to really support her. So in theory, she had what she wanted, but she wasn't getting the results she wanted. So this is where I feel like you're being protected, Cancer, because your guides and your angels are wanting you to go to the deepest parts of your heart and to declare those things in a way that you never have before. And in doing so, that's what Astera says, they will be bringing you the partnerships, both professionally, personally, intimately, familially, I don't know if that's a word, in your family, because there's the victory card again and the cow. In Lotta's most recent videos, she's talked about, you know, us going up our own personal Everest and having to traverse some pretty hard terrain. And now is a time for reward. So I really want to offer that to Cancer, to know that God and the angels are watching over you and to be completely authentic and raw and real with what it is that you want. And if you have been in challenge, it's okay to say to them, I've been in this challenge for so long. I'm so over it. I need a new experience so that I can anchor in my belief. All right. Let's go on to Gemini. I wanted to look at something. Somebody said something I thought was interesting. My progressed mood had opposed the partial solar eclipse in Capricorn, and I went through an intense emotional episode that I felt was necessary to confront specific issues I had to face to fully heal. Tana D, I think that's such a beautiful comment to have made, because oftentimes it is through intense emotional experiences that the revelation comes. We don't usually tend to move when we're in a place of comfort. We tend to do the opposite. If we're actually comfortable, we might get scared and say, oh, I don't want things to change. And then that's almost like a resistant energy. Okay. All right, here we go. We are going on to our Geminis. So many fun new people. So welcome. So excited to see you all in here today. Thank you so much. A lot is going on in the stars right now. It's a lot. It's really a beautiful time to, I believe it's part of the ascension, what we're all living through. And that ascension is to the highest version of ourself here in the physical plane. Okay. So for our Geminis, our first is Oceana. Second angel is Bethany. Third is Bridget. And the final is Archangel Michael. Ooh, Gemini rising. Okay, joining Oceana is the Love card. Joining Bethany is the Lady of the Lake. Joining Bridget is the Grail Knight. And joining Archangel Michael is the Baird. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, Gemini, it's time to fall in love. It's time to open up to love. It's time to rewrite the story of love for Gemini, because here we have the Love card and Oceana saying to lovingly assert yourself towards what you want. And I don't think this is about physical assertion. You guys, I feel like this is about my belief body. If you look at Oceana, she's in the water and she's heading towards the surface, towards the light. I feel like this is important for my Geminis. I feel like you want to be in love, and it's time to be authentic with spirit and to say, I really, really want to feel love, but not just that average love, not just that love where two people bang around and you see them in the diner reading the newspaper, not talking to each other. I want to feel the real deep love that cuts through the bullshit and into, did I say that? Cuts through the nonsense and to the deepest parts, because up until now, I don't think that Gemini may have not have experienced it, because I think you have to call it forth. Bridget's asking you to look deeper into your romantic body. And here we have Excalibur. Here's Lady of the Lake holding Excalibur. She put Excalibur in the stone. He took it out of the stone. Only the truest knight, the most authentic energy can do that. Because, and I get chills everywhere from my Geminis, because here is the angel, Archangel Michael, who asks us to have courage to move towards the love that we want. And there's the history card. So I want to offer you this, Gemini. Let's say that you have moved towards a place of deeper truth. And in doing so, it looks like you lost. It looks like the person the object of your affection moved on for some reason. Maybe they weren't ready. Your job in some ways is not to hold on to that history. Your job in some ways is to be courageous in a new version of it, to be looking at, if somebody was not ready, if they were not a willing participant, then they would not have been a good participant. So I'm willing to take care of myself, go to the deeper truths, to look deeper into what it is that I want to experience, and then to claim it. So for my Cancers, you want to fall in love? Then you tell Archangel Michael, I'm ready. I'm done with the nonsense. I'm ready to bring in that partner that truly makes my life thrive and where we are aligned together. One is not above the other. Okay, let's go on to our Tauruses. Oh, yes, Stephen. See, I love when you give us these tidbits. I forgot about that. So that would be very important. I believe that the South Node is moving, or North Node is moving into Gemini, yes? So that would make Gemini really wanting to pay attention to that love body. Okay. That's wonderful, CJD. That gives us all hope and gives us an opportunity to see it actually working. Okay, by summer, awesome. All right, here we go. We are on to our Tauruses. That's Taurus rising, Taurus moon, Taurus sun, and Taurus stelliums. I, in my progressed chart right now, have my sun, Jupiter, Mercury, and I think Venus. I'd have to check, all in Sagittarius. I have a little stellium in Sagittarius in my progressed chart. Okay. Love the name Hazel. Love it. Hazel, Capricorn is having a party right now in their sign. We've got Mercury, Jupiter, the sun, Pluto, and Saturn. So there's a lot of impact happening on the Capricorn energy and those that are ruled by Saturn. All right, Taurus. Our first angel is Teresa. The second is Rochelle. The third is Shanti. And the final is Archangel Raphael. Brianna, declare during this Cancer shift again. We're wanting to make declarations. I think, telling Spirit that we're ready to claim the higher vibrations of ourselves. All right, Taurus. Joining Teresa is the Mystery card. Joining Rochelle is the Hawk. Joining Shanti is the Swan, and joining Archangel Raphael is the Goblin. Okay. All right. Teresa is a card of worry. Teresa is a card of taking care of others. You can see her. She's okay. She's not totally bogged down, but she's not, her wings aren't flying high. And there's the choice card. So for my Tauruses, this is what I want to say. I feel like it's time to look at where you're making choices. And are you making those choices based on the committee, on the community, or are you making these choices based on what you believe? Because and this is what I want to say when I talk about what you believe. It's not just what you believe, it's what you desire, and what you desire that leads to an experience that will then confirm what you believe or validate. Because in the opportunity or the obstacle, I have Rochelle and I have the Hawk. Rochelle talks about honoring the guidance of your heart, and the Hawk talks about rising above a situation and seeing it from a broader perspective, and also looking for the signs and the omens that you are being led. Because I want to say it this way. The final position is a little bit challenging. I've got Archangel Raphael and the Goblin here, and there's something to do with the ego for Taurus. I'm a Taurus moon, so this is me too. And I want to put it this way, because I think what's going on here. When I go to the angel's advice, Shanti and the Swan, this is peace being offered to me as I trust my intuitive gifts. And then we have Archangel Raphael and the Goblin. There's a healing of the ego, a reconciliation of the ego. I never want to villainize my ego. My ego is what gives me the courage to pursue my personal path while it doesn't make sense to anybody else. And my path is so here in this community, it doesn't seem that weird. But when I walk to the market and they go, why are you here 4 times a day? When do you work? How do you make money? Then I say I'm an angel therapy practitioner. They're like, what? What's that? So this is what I want to say for Taurus. It's time to really choose whether or not the herd mentality works for you. And if indeed it does work for you, then I'm sure you'll be fine. But I think it's not working for you and that you're wanting to see things from your perspective. So this is giving you an opportunity to work with your ego versus having your ego villainize you through the herd's opinion. Because it's time to follow your heart and what you want. And in doing so, that provides you with more peace of mind. Now, being a Taurus moon, I can be slightly stubborn. And sometimes that stubborn is pride because I've been hurt. But most of the time, it's not. It's stubborn because I have to follow what's authentic to me, whether it's right or wrong for anybody else. I live in this emotional body. My emotional body is where my manifestation starts. So if I'm not following the guidance of my own heart, I'm going to be cranky. Okay. And I want to say it this way too, because for me, I've been going through my own emotional challenges with this sort of weird feeling muddy and sticky and not moving, no flow. And at the same time, when I look at my stats, there's flow. It's just not what I'm used to. So I'm having to see how my ego is getting in my own way. And in this respect, I offer my ego love when it's scared. The ego is I don't want to say it's the fear monger, but the ego, all things calamity, weird, bizarre, what do they say? No good deed goes unpunished. Guess who told you that? The ego told you that. You can want something, you'll never get it. The ego will tell you that too. This to me is about saying to my ego, it's okay to be scared. It's okay to think maybe I won't get something, but The truth is, when I turn over to spirit, my truth, and I'm willing to stand just a little bit in the unknowing, then I start to see the peace I'm looking for come in. And my job is to hold the line so that it becomes solid. Okay, let's go on to our final sign, Aries. I hope that made sense, everybody. There's always going to be, whenever we're hoping to manifest something, inadvertently, people who love us will ask us, how are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? And the best thing you could say is, I don't know. I think it's already been done. All I have to do is step into the vibration of it. And that's belief. All right, here we go. Aries, sun, moon, rising, and stelliums. I got to talk fast. My battery's getting to the point of it's going to be mad at me soon. All right, here we go, everybody. Don't forget to put your numbers between 2 and 500 in to win a free half-hour reading with me. We may change the game up next year because it isn't very successful, but we'll see. Aries, first angel is Crystal. The second is Bridget. The third is Adriana. And the final is Shanti. All right. Thank you, Cheryl. Oh, geez. Cards flying everywhere. I'll be back. All right. First card that flew out was the frog. The second one was the bear. Okay. Makes perfect sense. The third is Adriana. And the final is the high priestess. Okay, guys. For my Aries rising, sun, moon, and stelliums, Crystal says there's more on the horizon that you can see. Have faith. Have faith. And then we have the frog. I want to offer this. Faith is a little bit challenging when we can't see how it's going to happen. But if we can feel what it's like once it's happened, we can start to anchor our faith into a more rooted place, a more solid place. Because I think for my Aries, my history is getting in the way. I think sometimes, this is Bridget saying to look deeper, and the bear is about my history. It's the story I come from. And I feel like that might be why it's a little bit challenging to have that faith. Hope is outside of myself. Hope is something that, is going to come in and save the day. Faith is saying, I know it's going to be okay. I know everything is fine. It's just a bump in the road. It's just a moment in time. And here is Adriana and Merlin in the angel's advice. This is knowing that spirit is leading you towards the answers to your prayers, that this will come through. This represents alchemy, justice, and balance. It's a karma card. But most of it comes in relation to you being willing to look deeper into your story and asking yourself if that story is still applicable or if it's something you're carrying around with you. I have not seen my biological mother in probably 30 years, maybe longer, of my 60 years. And you know what? There's still moments of her that I could say I carry around. Sometimes when my hair is curly, I see my mom's face. It's not a good thing. So when I can step to a bigger place than my history, you know what? Maybe that history has something to do, bring something positive to me. Maybe there's something more when I look into it. Maybe my history made me who I am. Maybe my history made me the teacher that I am, Teri, personally. So for my Aries, I ask you to see where your history is working for you, because you are being led to something much greater if you can see that. And here is Shanti and the high priestess. Shanti is the angel of peace. And the high priestess is really about the version of myself, a bigger version of myself, the version of myself that was sitting in the conference room with God and the angels making this plan. And this is also the inner knowing of myself that says, I know that I made this plan, and now it's time to remember so that I can feel a reconciliation. I can let go of whatever this is that's been anchoring me in and feel that peace. Aries, I think this is a really, really pivotal time for us to, and I say us because I feel very Aryan. Mars is very prevalent to me in my energy. And I look at Mars as the truth seeker. I don't look at Mars as just being like, I'm just going to lob your head off if I don't like you. I feel like this is about a deeper truth. And that's what Crystal is saying, that you're able to leap onto a new lily pad when you anchor yourself into the bigger picture of your story, the one you know, the one you agreed to. When I think about my life, I think there's a lot of new people in the show. So sorry for the old people when I'm repeating myself, but I'm 60 years old. I never got married. I never had any children, but I've always felt that I would know a great love in this life. And I'm okay with never having kids. I'm okay with never getting married. But every once in a while, do I think I'm ready now? I'm ready to meet my person, the person who contracted to have that real deep relationship with me. And so, as an Aries, it's my job to have faith in my own contract. It's my job to give myself peace of mind and to trust the bigger version. Because if I go into my history, it's going to trip me up. So it's about looking deeper and knowing that I'm being guided and watched over and loved, not only by my guides and my angels, but by my own soul that chose this story in this lifetime. Okay. All right, so that's it. I made it through. I'm so excited to see. Welcome, Jennifer and Frosty and Karen. And I hope I said hi to everybody. I hate it when I look back and I miss somebody. But all right, so that's it for the last broadcast of 2019. We're going into 2020. I can't even believe it. So crazy. I remember when Prince used to sing 1999, and I'd be driving in my car in high school thinking, wow, 1999, so far away. Wow, so far away. All right, guys. Again, my name is Teri Hunter. I'm here on Lotta's channel every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Pacific time with messages from your angels. If you'd like to get a reading with me, you can always go to Lotta's website. I'm in the reader's menu. You get a half hour, an hour with me, and you always have a chance to win a free half hour. You just got to put your number in the chat or in the comments. Chat takes precedence over the comments, and we'll hope for a winner for next week. I'll see you in 2020, everybody. Have a wonderful new year. Be safe. Be loving to yourself, because it's so much easier to love others when we love ourselves. Take care. Namaste, everybody. Bye-bye.